Hey. Episode 5. Welcome to episode 5 of Play With Your Dick, Not Me. I woke up this morning and to other people, it probably wouldn't be a thing, but I'm still starting out, so I'm celebrating every win, every milestone, every person that takes time out of their day to hear my annoying ass voice. I cringe when I go back and listen. I'm like, oh, I sound like that. I wouldn't be surprised if no one wants to listen to me. But yeah, I woke up with a notification from Spotify today, and it said that I had 10 new listens and downloads. And it was like, yay, celebrate every milestone. And I'm like, okay, Spotify, I'll do that. But everyone has to start somewhere. So I'm learning as I go, and learning not to get frustrated with the flow and the progress of things, and that I'm still at my point where I only have a couple listeners or a couple subscribers. Like, we'll get there. Maybe I need to start telling people like and subscribe on my YouTube channel. Go listen on Spotify. Go listen on iHeart. Honestly, I don't even know how iHeart's doing. I forget that I'm on there too, so I need to go check the analytics of that one. I'm more so checking like YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, that kind of thing. But anyways, does anybody else feel like they need to scream this week? Has anybody else had an extremely heavy, emotionally, mental, just draining week where you just feel like you gotta because I do. Yeah. That felt good. I should do that more often. Let's go get food now. A quote I was thinking of earlier that kind of sums up this week. I don't know who said it originally. I do like to give credit where it's due, but I don't know who said this originally. I just saw it on Instagram a long time ago, and it resonated then and it resonates now. I still love the people that I love, even if I cross the street to avoid them. We're not going to unpack that today. We're not. But it sums up my week. Anyways, I also wanted to say, I just have these random thoughts, and then I'm like, I need to put those in my podcast. People in Utah are so nice. They are so nice. I know everybody has their own opinion of Utah and what it's like for them and the experiences they've had and how they've been treated. Don't get me wrong. I've had negative experiences here. People kind of look at me funny when I tell them that I have been discriminated more in Utah for not being LDS than I have for being black. True fucking story, no cap. God, that sounds so stupid. Anyways. The things you pick up when you have teenagers. Anyways, but yeah, I have literally, like, not throwing any shade, because I do have a lot of friends that are LDS and they're awesome people, and I've met amazing, wonderful, awesome LDS members that are great people. I'm just saying that I have had a couple negative experiences where I've just had a real resonating, really cool conversation with somebody for about 30 minutes, and then out of nowhere they go, "Are you LDS?" And I go, "No, I'm not." And I've literally had people go, throw their nose up in the air and walk away from me. Like, we just had an awesome conversation. We were connecting. But because I didn't believe how they believed, all of a sudden I was deemed unworthy to speak to. And no shade to women, but it's only been women that have treated me that way. Men, they didn't care. They're like, oh, that's fine. And they would just keep talking to me. I went to SLIC, Salt Lake Community College. I graduated 2012. Yes. And I went to their cosmetology barbering program. Most people won't know or remember that they had a cosmetology and barbering program. While I was there, we were actually protesting and advocating to keep it open. We were on the news and all this stuff, just fighting to keep the program open. But at the time, it was open. I attended, and barbering you'd have to regularly, work on actual people. Second semester, so I was on the barbering floor, and I would get lots of men that would come in, lots of missionaries, and they didn't care. The men didn't care. Like, they would continue talking to me, continue asking about me, continuing to want to get to know me. But there was a few select girls that I went to cosmetology school with who completely just, as soon as they learned that I was not LDS, I was not worth their time anymore. They would not talk to me at all. If I walked up to say hi to them or try to talk to them, they'd just walk away. But that's pretty much been my experience. Have I had situations where people have treated me differently because of the color of my skin? Yeah, we're not going to go into it. I'm just going to say this to say that there are good and bad people everywhere. So I have had negative experiences in Utah for not being the prominent religion, and I've had some instances because I'm black. But I wanted to spin this back to the positive. Overall, my experience with Utah, people are really fucking nice here. They really are. I had like a short, brief interaction with some people today at the gym, and they were just, didn't even talk to them, but the interaction was just so wholesome and so nice, and it just made me think, people in Utah are so nice. Coming from California, absolutely, absolutely. And I've talked to other people that are from other places, either from California or somewhere else, and they have said, yeah, people in Utah are really nice, like habitually nice. When we first moved here, we moved to a town called Stansbury. And I remember when me and my siblings would go like walk down the neighborhood, try to, just get used to our surroundings. Coming from California, people would drive by and they would wave at us, and we'd be like, they don't know us. What are they looking at us for? Like, it scared the shit out of us, because coming from California, people do not wave at each other. Unless I know you, we are not exchanging pleasantries. That's just not what we do. So it freaked us out, because we were used to like cars creeping, and then your antennas go up like, what's about to happen, what's going on here, so people putting their hands up, and they're not getting ready to pull out a gun or some shit, or put up a gang sign or whatever, and then instead they're waving, is like, oh, okay, that's weird. But we got used to it. Staring. People stared a lot. I've been here long enough that I don't really notice it anymore. But I remember when we first moved to Utah, I was very keenly aware of all the people looking at me. It was so weird. And this is back when there were even less black people in Utah. And so I always, every time I went somewhere, I felt like I was on display, because everybody would just look. Like, I don't know, like I was just like a foreign creature to their planet or something. It was very uncomfortable. If people still stare today, I don't even notice it. I've been here long enough that it's not something. But again, anybody else that I've talked to that are not from Utah and they happen to be black or brown, we've all had this conversation. Like, do you get stared at a lot? Yeah. Like, I don't know. But it's just something that you're very keenly aware of when you first moved to Utah. But yeah, I just had like a very brief, nice exchange with some people as we were leaving the gym. And then we kind of ran into each other again in the parking lot, and they were still just so nice. And so I was just like, I forget sometimes that this really is a nice place to live. We had some pretty rough stuff happen a couple days ago, last weekend, at a festival in West Valley. I don't really want to go into it. I want my podcast to be a place of people to go for comfort. And I don't want to trigger anybody, so I'm not going to go into it. But there was just 2 separate shootings at 2 different locations in Salt Lake, and some people did die. And that's all I really want to say about it. Even just talking about it and thinking about it right now, I want to get emotional. So we're going, rest in peace, and hopefully something like that does not happen again here. So, just, yeah, I'm not going to go into this heavy topic and all of that. This is not the kind of platform that I wanted to create. talking about like worldly things. And I don't handle that kind of stuff well anyway. So I don't want people that listen to me to be triggered or have a hard time or be like, I don't want to hear about news. Like if you're like me, you can't handle it. Like it just, if you're like me, you want to put on a cape and go save everybody. So, and I know that I can't. So I have to, for my own mental health, have to stay away from heavy topics and news and stuff like that. So we're going to move on. I wanted to share, so I made a separate TikTok for a bunch of books that I have read over the past few years that have helped me healing wise, for my healing journey, mindfulness, walking away from toxic family members, working on myself so I can show up better in my relationship with people, with my husband. So I had made a TikTok video about it. I'm going to try and see if I can edit it and add it to this podcast episode, but if I can't, it might be separate. I don't know much about video editing, so, we'll see. As I was saying that, I remembered there was one book that I did not add to the TikTok video. I'll have to go back and add it, so I'm not even going to bring it up because I can't even remember the author's name at this time, so I'm just going to add it to that video. Anyways, I do have some physical ones here. I am old school. I prefer a book. I prefer opening and turning the pages. Like, that's how I like to read. But because I have a busy life, I have come to love Audible books. But, there's nothing like turning the pages of a book. I am a huge Harry Potter nerd. Harry Potter is what saved me in high school. When we moved to Utah when I was 14, 15, my mom had just passed away in a fire. Horrible time to move children to a whole other state and take them from everything they've ever known. Harry Potter, running off into the world of Hogwarts is what I think saved my teenage years. I was pretty depressed. Losing my mom and just the regular teenage angst stuff and, first love not working out, that kind of stuff. So being able to open the Harry Potter books and escape did wonders for me. That is actually a dream of mine, is I would love to go to the Harry Potter world at Universal Studios. I'm going to be like those people in those videos, if you've seen them, the ones that get to that part of the park where Hogwarts and everything is, and they just fall to their knees and cry because they're seeing this world that they used to escape to come to life before their eyes. Like, I'm going to be one of those people, and I'm going to need somebody to film me because I totally get it. Because I know that those books brought comfort to a lot of people, not just me. And so I love watching those videos. That was another thing I wanted to talk about for a second, moving from books for a minute. Crash out videos. That is my new thing. I don't want it to be like a trend that people just do for a while. I love crash out videos. I love the rawness. I love people being vulnerable. Like I think we talked about this before, how people will be like, oh, why do people cry on camera? How else are we supposed to tell people that we are hurting, that we are struggling? So I absolutely am here for it. The people that are just raw in their emotions, they've had enough, they've hit rock bottom, they're sad, they're grieving, they're hurt, they're heartbroken. I love that they are turning on their camera, turning on their phone's camera, whatever, and showing that raw human emotion. People need to see it. I think sometimes as humans, we forget that people are going through shit. Because a lot of people, me included, will walk around every fucking day like I'm fine. Nobody will know that I just bawled my eyes out 5 minutes ago. Because by now I have fixed my makeup and I'm smiling and acting like everything's fine. Most people would not know that I go to sleep almost every single night and have been for a whole fucking year. Every single night, most people would not know that I go to sleep bawling my eyes out and then go to bed and then wear a mask all day. Like, I'm fine. I'm fine. Hi, how are you? Yes, I'm doing so good. Mask. And then come home, mask comes off, and I have to release all the emotions I've been holding in all day, pretending like I'm fine. Because, like we talked about in past episodes, smiling makes people more comfortable. So, I love the crash out videos. People standing in their truth and letting those raw emotions out and feeling them and releasing them. And I hope that every single one of them that do that, that they start to feel just a little bit better and heal. That's so, yeah, I'm totally here for those. And my heart goes out to those people, and I applaud them for being so brave, because as humans, we're programmed to be like, I'm sorry. When we get emotional, when we cry. I hate when people do that. I know why we do, because again, smiling makes people feel comfortable. Raw emotion makes people not so comfortable. And we never really know what to say. It's just human nature. So I'm here for the people pouring their heart out online, on TikTok, making a video of those raw feelings, and then people are connecting and reaching out and being like, I'm here for you, thank you for sharing. You know, I love that. I love it. I gravitate towards it. Anyways, I'm getting way off topic, but here is, I'm not done with this. I don't know if I ever will be. This is The Tears That Taught Me by Morgan Richard Oliver. Ugh. I have to take breaks because this is a big book on healing and releasing and becoming the person you're supposed to be. Here I'll read a couple. Yeah, these get heavy. Sometimes you have to lose the world to find yourself. Don't let your discomfort or timetable lead you to believe that God doesn't have it handled. He's got it in His way and in His time. Give everything to Him and keep it there. Some battles simply are not ours to fight or figure out. Thank you, universe. I feel like they needed me to open that page and read it. I don't want to skip ahead, but it looks like I have a couple bookmarks in here. I'm guessing there were a few that I really like those. I need to refer back to those. But I have not finished this book yet because I have to take breaks. It's a heavy one. But so necessary. And if you can't see what I'm holding up if you're listening on Spotify or iHeartRadio, but if you go to my YouTube channel, it's the same name as the podcast, you can see this video of the books I'm holding. So this one is The Shadow Work Journal, a guide to integrate and transcend your shadows. I actually bought this one off TikTok, I think. This might have been a TikTok purchase or Amazon. This is another one that I'm taking my sweet ass time to read because it is heavy. It's a journal and it asks you things and you have to fill in blanks. Well, you can't see because the light is so gosh darn bright. You have prompts or activities that they have you do. You are confronting your inner child in this book. So this one, I can't even tell you the last time I picked it up and did some of the workbook because it's so heavy and it's so hard, and you have to connect to that part of you that you want to keep hidden and that part that you want to just keep buried down deep because it's painful. It's painful to feel and connect with your inner child and remember things that were done to you or said to you or how you were treated and how it affected you. And it feels safer to internalize, but it may feel safer, but you can't keep everything in forever. You just can't. It will come out. For me personally, it started coming out in very unhealthy ways in how I interacted with people. My abandonment issues were a big one. I do two things. If I feel like someone wants to leave or someone wants to leave me or someone doesn't want to be in my life anymore, I will preemptively open the door for you. because I will be triggered in some kind of way. We'll use Tiger for an example. When we've gotten in some big arguments, I'm that kind of person that'll just be like, well, fine, maybe we should get a divorce. Maybe we should just break up. And he'll be like, whoa, why are you going there? Like, why do you always go to that place? Like, we're just having an argument. And for the record, Tiger has never, ever, 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 in our almost 13 years of being together, he has never, ever gone there. No matter how, I can say on one hand, how many times Tiger has actually been mad at me. Do I annoy him every single day, all day long? Abso-fucking-lutely I do. Abso-fucking-lutely I do. Can't even count how many times, because it's every day. But how many times he's actually gotten mad at me? I probably count 5. Like, mad, like, you need to get out of my face right now. You need to leave me alone right now. You need to go away. Like, when he really needs space, 5 times. Gosh darn it, I lost my train of thought. Oh, so for me, you know, when I get that upset, I'm just like, well, I should just move out. Or maybe I should just, you know, we should get divorced, we should break up. And I've worked on it over the years because that really hurt Tiger down. That really hurt Tiger and broke him down in our relationship. I think it really did, because then it created a fear in him that, like, every time we have these heavy fights, is my wife going to leave, or is she going to threaten to leave? So I use my abandonment issues 2 ways. I'm like, I'm going to leave you before you can leave me. Or I just will cling very tightly to people. Very tightly. And not want them to go anywhere. Cling tightly to everybody important in my life. So I think it depends on the person. There's only been one person that I can think of that when I felt that they were leaving, I clung tightly to them, which only made them run farther away, which was the catalyst for my whole entire spiritual journey that I'm not talking about in this episode, maybe later episodes. But with everybody else, I've been like, fine, you want to go? Go. Deuces, you know? Or threaten that I'm going to leave. Like, well, then I'm going to go. Neither of those ways are healthy. This book is one that kind of helped me confront those things and kind of understand more why I do that. I mean, I'm still figuring out why I do that. Because I have anxious attachment style, but I also have a fine leave style. So, and I know what it is. I know that it's a wall. It's a defense mechanism that I put up because I'm like, I'm going to hurt you before you can hurt me. So this is one of those books that I feel touch on working through that. But it takes me a long time to get through this shadow book because I have to take breaks. It gets to be too heavy. I go into that sad, dark place that we all try to keep buried deep down in each of us. So it's weird. I think this page is actually about abandonment. So this is one of the fill in the blank activities because, like I said, they give you activities after you've reflected a little bit. So fill in the blank. As a child, I was told not to, and I filled the blank in, cry. I came from the era of, what are you crying about? You have nothing to cry about. Quit crying before I give you something to cry about. A lot of us can relate. So, me and a lot of people of my generation, because I've talked to people, were taught to internalize our emotions because we were told showing emotions was not okay. It wasn't tolerated. So, crying was just not something that a lot of us did very often. I know I didn't. Not since this last year have I cried more in my whole damn life. So, as a child, I was told not to cry. This made me very blank, I wrote, prone to internalize my feelings. So just what I said. I feel like things would be different if, fill in the blank, I feel like things would be different if I was allowed to express emotions. I wish I could tell my child self, blank, her emotions mattered. I am so grateful for fill in the blank, some of my mom's life lessons, but wish my guardians would have fill in the blank been different people entirely. Ooh, bringing up some stuff. I'll have to go cry later. I have to like pencil it in sometimes because if I don't let it out, it's 10 times worse. So I can feel it over this past year. I can literally feel it when I need to go cry because I've cried more in this past year than I've had in my entire life, to the point where I can clock it, like, and then the universe is like, okay, you don't have time to cry today? Cool. You're going to cry 10 times worse tomorrow. And I'm like, cool. See you tomorrow. So we'll just add this to the things I'm going to cry about later. As a child, I was reprimanded for blank, fill in the blank, having emotions or crying or being upset. A lot of us were. My response was to internalize, like we talked about, and bottle up or to shout. After this, I've always been, fill in the blank, hollow, drained, not heard. A lot of us can relate to not being heard or not feeling like we are being heard. I care so much about, fill in the blank, being acknowledged and loved. Don't we all? And we all deserve love. We do. It triggers me now when, fill in the blank, I feel abandoned, ignored, or not heard. Big abandonment stuff. And I know so many people that can relate. I now hold a compassionate space for my full self and embrace this part of me. All right, that's all we're doing, because it's and this is why these are good, because it starts to bring some stuff up, and you need to, when you start feeling that stuff, you need to recognize it, take note of it, give yourself grace, kind of sit with it, work through it, journal, do whatever helps you stay grounded and feel okay. But a lot of the emotions, triggers, feelings, pain from our childhood are just begging to be acknowledged, begging to be noticed, begging to be felt. Our inner child is begging to be heard and seen, and their feelings and the things that they went through and suffered through, they need those things to be recognized, to be acknowledged, to work through, and to be told that it was not their fault and they did nothing bad. They were just kids, and they deserve to be loved, listened to, cared about, seen. So, shadow work journal. This one's just for fun. It was a birthday present to myself. I am a December Capricorn, so I got this astrology book, and it was expensive too, but treat yourself. So this was completely personalized to who I am, the entirety that is Mercedes. So I did my birth chart. I'm learning about all of that. I always thought I was just a Capricorn. Now I know that we are all a little bit of other zodiac signs, and it's very interesting, and it helps, you kind of understand how you're shaped as a whole person. So for people that are into this stuff, that are into horoscopes and astrology and birth charts and all that fun stuff, my sun sign is a Capricorn, and my moon sign is an Aries. And my rising sign is a Pisces. So, but this book talks about all of it, like my Jupiter, my Aries and Jupiter. And so every, like the way the planets were when I was born and how it shapes my personality, just all of it. and it's super detailed, and it has pictures, and hold on, let me get to the pictures. So I haven't read it all. I'm still very much at the beginning, but it was really cool. It is Nord Astro is the company that made it. So yeah, share some books. I actually am reading. Well, now I'm listening because I found the books on Audible. At first, I couldn't find them, so I bought the paperback. I did forgot to bring them, but they are the After series. You can actually watch all of the movies on Netflix. So there's After We Collided, I think After We Fell. I can't remember what the other two are called, but I'm reading those right now, or listening now that I have the Audible. The movies were really good, and so I bought the books and then found them on Audible, and so now I'm listening. So I have the paperback too, but it's fictional. It's just really cute love story about these Tessa and Hardin, these two kids that meet and fall in love, and just tumultuous relationship that they have, you know, coming together, separating, working through trauma, triggers, all that stuff. But it's a cute series. But I forgot to bring the books, so. But it is called the After series, and you can find the movies on Netflix, and you can find the books at any bookstore. So I actually wanted to have this episode be a little bit about relationship styles, or fight styles, I should say. I don't like to make these episodes very long. I see that we're already at the 30-minute mark, so we'll just get into it and then I'll end it. So I was thinking earlier today about fight styles in a relationship. So my fight style, for example, is when Tiger and I, for example, get into an argument, he wants to work it out immediately. He wants to talk, he wants to make up, he wants to get back to cuddling me and grabbing my ass, because those are his favorite things to do. He can't keep his hands off of me, which I appreciate very much and makes me feel very loved that he's so obsessed with me. I love that. I do. I hope for everybody that they can find somebody that's extremely obsessed with them and loves the ever-living shit out of them. I want that for everybody. So I'm glad that I have it. But like he annoys me, like I annoy him a zillion times a day, he also annoys me. We make it work. But you can't count how many times he's made me mad, because there's probably more than all the stars in the sky. But our fight styles, when we have a disagreement, and I'm not going to place blame or labels, because everybody's fight style, they have it for a reason. I think it has to do with their upbringing and how their family handled conflict in their house. So Tiger's fight style is, like I said, he wants to work it out. He wants me to talk to him immediately. As soon as he realizes that I no longer want to talk, I just want to walk away and be left the fuck alone. You know, he used to, which was very unhealthy, and don't do it, is he would try to block me from leaving. Not okay. And it would trigger the fuck out of me, because I had people do that to me in past relationships. Like, do not forbid me from leaving the situation if I no longer want to be around you. Nobody should do that. It's not healthy. But I understand, I can give grace to the fact that emotions get high, but it is not healthy, and it's can be considered a form of abuse, from what I'm told, to block somebody and not let them leave. The healthier thing to do is, if someone needs to decompress, needs to walk away to calm down, let them walk away to calm down. They will come back. If you guys mean that much to each other, the other person will come back. And I think that's why Tiger would do that, because his fear response would get activated. And that could probably be my fault, because I was the one before that would always be like, well, maybe we should get divorced. Maybe we should break up. So I could have activated that in him. I don't know. He doesn't do it anymore. An unhealthy thing that I used to do earlier on in our relationship is if he triggered me, and it's funny because I started to become familiar with my triggers when I got with Tiger. I didn't even know that I had them or how they got activated or why, but I really started to acknowledge and pay attention to them when Tiger came into my life. So I remember that when he used to trigger me or used to upset me, it was never intentionally. He's not a kind of person that wakes up in the morning and is like, how can I make Mercedes' life miserable today? Like, he's not like that. I've dated people like that who are really felt like they woke up every morning and were like, how the fuck can I make this bitch miserable today? Like, I've dated people like that. Tiger, no. He doesn't move like that. He doesn't have that kind of intention. He's not petty or like that, and never has been. But there would be times, especially in the beginning when we were first trying to learn ourselves, I have a deep-seated trigger from family, past relationships, that I will react very strongly. I don't even think I even want to share it because I feel like I'll just be giving my, I guess, power away. I don't need people to know what my biggest trigger is so they can use it against me. So I'm actually not even going to share it. Just know I'm working through it. But Tiger used to accidentally say this to me. And this is when I became aware that it was something that actually triggered me and actually created a huge response in me. So earlier on in our relationship, I used to just shut down. And I wouldn't talk to him. I wouldn't answer his phone calls. I wouldn't answer his texts. I would go a maximum of like 3 days of just not speaking to him. Not healthy. It's not. I don't like being ignored. It hurts my feelings a lot. I don't think anybody really likes being ignored. But it was my response, or I guess my fight style at the time. Unhealthy. I do think that people should be allowed space and time to process and be left alone. I do. But I don't think that you should just ghost or ignore people. I think you should just tell them, I am not at a space to hear you out right now. Like, I will get back to you when I am in a good mental space to respond, or something you said deeply triggered me, or something you did. I just need to take some time, and we can talk about this later. I think that you should let somebody know why you're going to not talk to them for a little bit, not just disappear. But yeah, Tiger wouldn't even know what the hell he did. He just knows that I'm not speaking to him. So he's calling me, he's texting me, he's showing up at my apartment, and I'm just like, I don't want to talk to you. Like, leave me alone. And it really hurt him. And then when we moved in together, it hurt him even more because now we're in this condensed space, and I'm walking past him and pretending like he's not there. He's trying to touch me, and I'm like, don't touch me, leave me alone. And it was like 3 days was my max that I would do that. Not healthy, not okay. So over the years, when I saw how much it hurt him, I knew it was something that I needed to work on. Because it's not okay. It's a manipulative form of love. But it was something that I was taught as a child. I remember my dad getting upset with me and just throwing his hands up and walking away and ignoring me. And I'm calling to him. I'm continuing to try to communicate and talk and have a conversation. And he didn't care. He just walked away from me. So I think that's where I learned it from. And I'm sure there's been other times where I was ignored, or somebody walked away from me. That's stuff that I have to work through and confront, and I have. And we all know healing is not linear. You're never done healing. So, but I will say, almost 13 years in, I don't do that anymore because I recognize that this was something that I did. It wasn't healthy. It was hurting somebody that I loved. So I worked on it. So now when Tiger and I have a disagreement and I get into my defenses, my walls go up, I want to be left the fuck alone, I am now able to convey and communicate to him, I am not at a space to continue this conversation with you. I need like 30 minutes to be by myself. Can you give me that? because he used to, like I said, he used to have a really hard time. He would block the door. No, you're not leaving. No, you're talking to me right now. He would be in my face, which would just trigger me and make me angry. I tend to become like acid tongue when I am angry, when I'm upset, when I'm hurt, when I'm triggered. So it's best that you leave me alone, because I might say some really fucked up shit that I'm gonna have to apologize for later. Like, I might say some really mean ass shit that's gonna make you cry. And it's just what I do when I am in my fight mode. And so it's best that people leave me alone. And I've, even before Tiger, I was in relationships where, just because he was over it, he wanted to move on, I had to suddenly be over it too. I had to suddenly not be mad or in my feelings or sad anymore too. Oh, you're over it now? Cool. Doesn't mean I am. You know, and so they would be in my face. They would be, you know, bumping me and, you know, calling me names and all this shit and trying to agitate me further, which then I would just say some fucked up shit because, you know, like, you backed me into a corner. So, but with me and Tiger, I have come a long way, where I went from 3 days of needing to process and bring my triggers back down and decompress and be like, do I really want this? Do I really want to be with this person? You know, all the things. Tiger thinks that when I take space away from him, that I'm going off somewhere to get even madder. I mean, maybe I do. Maybe I have done that in the past. He's like, no, you don't go sit and decompress and process. You go and sit in a corner and get madder. Like, oh, and then he did this and he did that. Da, 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 da. And maybe there's been times that I've done that. But, no. I'm sure back before. But yes, we have gotten into a much healthier place where just, I've shut down. I don't want to continue this conversation. It's not going anywhere. You're at a 10. I'm at a 10. We both need to just and come down, decompress, you know, separate for a little bit, decompress, and then come back together and talk. And so we've both gotten to a place where we're both comfortable doing with that. Tiger isn't so fearful that I'm going to leave or that I'm going to be like, well, we should get a divorce. Like, he's like, okay, I will give you 30 minutes, you know. And then sometimes it'll be just 10 minutes and I'll, you know, come in here, which is his game room, and be like, okay, I'm ready to talk now. It really depends. Sometimes they're much bigger fights and maybe we do need a day to not talk. Another unhealthy thing that I would do that I had to stop doing because it is hurtful and it is a manipulative form of love is, like I said, when I was mad at him, I would withdraw and withhold affection. I would not kiss him goodnight. I would not kiss him bye. You know, I would not text him back. I withheld affection. Also unhealthy. Also not fair to the other person. Tiger never did these things to me, ever. There would be times where he would leave without kissing me, and then I'd be like, well, why didn't you kiss me bye? And he'd be like, because in the past when I've tried, you've gotten mad at me because you still don't want to be around me. So I don't want to be hurt and get rejected, so I'm just going to go to work. And I'm like, that's fair. I'm sorry. So, you know, I don't know the proper names for these fight styles right now. I think, I guess mine would, I've heard Jay Shetty reference them, but I can't think of them right now. But I guess I would be like flight, and he's like, not fight, but I can't think of the word. But I remember Jay Shetty had a name for all of them. But I guess Tiger's would be fight, because like, no, that's not fair to say. Because then it sounds like he's the only one fighting to fix things when he's not. He has one way of fighting to fix things, and I have another way. And neither way is wrong. My way is, I'm going to go be by myself so I can calm down, and then I will come back and talk to you. His is, no, we're going to talk about this right now. You know, a little bit of, well, I'm over it, so you need to be over it too, but in like a nicer way. So, not one, either fight style is wrong or one's better than the other, because Tiger has tried to be like, well, I'm the only one that seems to fight. No, you just because you're like, let's fix this right now, doesn't mean that you're more all in than I am. So, and I actually, speaking of Jay Shetty, I actually had listened to an episode of him with Jelly Roll, who I love. And they were talking about relationship fight styles. And Jelly Roll talked about how him and his wife's, their style. And Jay Shetty talked about in the past how he used to feel like he was fighting more for his relationship with Roddy because he was the one that was like, no, we're going to talk about this right now. And she was like, I need some space. Know which way, as Jay Shetty even said, is better than the other. Like, just because I need to go take space away from you and like feel better and process what just happened and what was said and how it made me feel, but I'm going to come back. So, but you being like in your, fear, based energy of like, you're going to leave if we don't fix this right now. Like, we're both fighting. We're both fighting for the relationship. We're both wanting to make it work. We're both wanting to fix things. We just display it differently. But as long as nobody is physically restraining the other person or refusing to let the other person leave or use their phone, or just getting mean, like name calling, very low vibrational. There's never any reason for name calling. And that's one thing that I will say that I appreciate about my marriage with Tiger is that we do not name call. He knows that name calling are a big trigger for me, that there is a specific word that is my biggest trigger. So he knows, don't ever call me that. Has he? Yes. And have I been like this, like, not this close, but this close? Like, all right, like to leaving because I was triggered so bad? Yes. Because for me, it was like, you know what my trigger word is, and then you used it. When you know better than anybody. When you watch me have a literal anxiety attack because I was so triggered by this word. But, and I hate that saying that was said as a kid, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Bull fucking shit. Bull fucking shit. I don't know how everybody else operates, but for me, words hurt, and I remember them. Words have shaped who I am as a person. Words have either become a trigger or a trauma or a pain for me. And if I am called something that I was called that created when the trigger was created, if I'm then put back into that trigger mode, I will spiral, and my body, because the body keeps score, I will be put in this mode where I'll just have memory flashes of every time I was ever called that word, and I can still place myself in that space of how badly it hurt. I can still feel it. Every time I've ever been hit, I can't put myself in that space of how exactly it felt. I mean, I can feel some kind of way like, well, that sucked, but I can't feel the physical pain when I remember times that I was hit. But I remember the exact pain, and I can still feel it when it comes to a word. So bull fucking shit. Words absolutely hurt. I think that's why so many of us are in so much pain or are unhealed or have the triggers that we have. And it's because of words. It's because of something that somebody that we thought loved us and cared about us. It's something they said. Yes, there are people that are deeply triggered by physical pain. Absolutely. I'm just not one of those people. Yeah. Not like words. Not like with words. So yeah. Name calling. There's I don't care how mad somebody makes you. No, ma'am. There's never a reason to call somebody a name. Ever. Ever. That shit stays with you. Absolutely. And obviously, there's no reason to. It doesn't even need to be said. Physical hitting somebody never fucking okay. Never fucking okay. Never fucking okay. I don't care how mad somebody makes you. Never fucking okay. I don't even really want to go into it because I've been in those kind of relationships. But yeah, never fucking okay. I mean, maybe we can have an episode about it later, but we're not doing that today. About, physical abuse in relationships. I'm talking about, when I say fight styles, I'm talking about how we react emotionally in an argument. That's what I'm talking about. And how one of us may retreat and the other one may, I don't know, I guess chase, because they're chasing after you because they want to fix it right now. Since I can't think of the terms that Jay Shetty used. So I guess for me, I'm more of a retreater. I'm like, leave me alone, need to be in my own space. If you stay up in my space, I'm going to be really mean. And both styles can be healed through, can be worked on. There's nothing wrong with needing space after an argument. But the way that you take space, I think, matters. As long as you're doing it in a healthy way. Like I feel that I do now by telling Tiger, I just need 30 minutes and then we can talk. Whereas how I was before. So, I am proud of myself that I've worked on these things over the years. Because I went from 3 days that I wouldn't talk to him to I just need 30 minutes. So, but there's always healing to be done. And for him, like I said, when he gets in his fear-based energy, he's evolved. He no longer restrains me or tries to, block me from leaving. He's just like, okay, 30 minutes, and it was unhealthy of me to always be like, well, then you should, then I'll just leave. Then we should just break up. Then we should just get divorced. That was very unhealthy of me. But like I said, that was something that I had to work on. And it's not something that I throw out anymore during an argument. Because I learned and I actually saw, not that Tiger's pain didn't resonate with me, but it resonated more deeply and helped me see it from Tiger's perspective even more, while talking to one of my best friends and how she reacted when her spouse would always go to that place. And seeing it from her perspective and how much it hurt her, I was like, oh, wow. Like, not that I didn't care or didn't see that it hurt Tiger too. But for some reason, seeing it, someone else that I also loved and cared about, and like, oh, your spouse does that to you. And this is how it makes you feel. So, she helped me even more so I would stop doing that to Tiger. Not that I couldn't before, not that I needed somebody else to teach it to me, but I guess I did. So it's not something that I throw out anymore. And I do feel bad that I instilled that fear in him. That like, oh my gosh, if we get into an argument, is she going to threaten divorce? Like, that's not healthy. It's not healthy to always throw the possibility of the end of a relationship in your spouse's face. It breaks them down. It creates fear-based energy, for your relationship. And it starts to create cracks. So take it from me, don't do that. I understand that people put walls up. I do, because I'm a big wall person. I'm a big throw my defenses up. I got freaking guys with bow and arrows being like, I dare you to try and come over this wall. Freaking like gargoyles and fucking ogres and stuff, just like, like just guarding the fortress, like, when my walls go up. Like, good luck trying to get over to the other side once my walls are lifted. So, but again, that's something that can be healed and worked through. So, and unpacking with a professional. So, because books like this can only help you so much, and I think it's good to layer your healing. So with books, therapy, medication, healing out loud like I've been doing, just whatever works. The gym, taking walks, being out in nature, whatever works for you, you know. And it doesn't have to be one thing. It can be a multiple things. Like I kind of added other healing stuff right here. So Bob's Burgers. This show saved me when I was deep in my postpartum depression after I had Samara, and this show was my comfort show. So it truly saved my life. So everybody in the house knows Bob's Burgers is my favorite thing. So they spoil me and always buy me Bob's Burgers stuff. Even my kids know. When they can tell that I've had a bad day, they'll be like, "Here, Mom, put on Bob's Burgers for you." So, like, they know that is my number one comfort, is to just lay in bed and watch Bob's Burgers. Like, that show has done so much for me. So I kind of just wanted to add them to the back. So, yeah. And then I found that poster in my closet, so I just figured I'd put it up, even though can't even see it. But, yeah. If you've seen the show, if you're a fan of the show, hi, Annie. Why are you home early? What are you doing home early? I love you. What are you doing home early? Happy Juneteenth. What are you doing home early? Oh, that's right. You took 4 hours off.
Yeah, to go to the bank.
Did you go to the bank?
They're closed.
What? Oh, shit, because of the holiday.
Yeah, I forgot what today was altogether.
Oh, babe. Well, we'll just go tomorrow.
So.
Well, I'm about done recording, so.
All right, babe.
I love you.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, I forgot. This should have said that at the beginning. Happy Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth. My People's Independence Day. But anyways, so I hope everything I said about fight styles made sense. I feel like I talk in circles sometimes. But I hope that it kind of gave you a clear sense of what's healthy and what isn't. None of us are finished. None of us are perfect. We are still a work in progress, and that's okay. That's the beauty of it. We're all still healing. Be kind to everybody that you meet. You have no idea what the person next to you is dealing with. You don't know what battles they're internally facing. You don't know the things that they are healing from that they don't talk about. So just be kind. Be fucking kind. It's not hard. I feel like it's the easiest thing to do is be kind. You know, it doesn't cost anything. It makes the other person feel good. It makes you feel good. Like, it's the coolest fucking thing to be kind. You know? Like, so, yeah. So I think that's it. I mean, I think this is okay. This is episode 5, so I think it's okay that it's the longest. We're at 55 minutes and 53 seconds. So, yeah. But thank you for tuning in, and I hope that the things that I talked about resonated and helped, or you felt validated. That's my goal. That's what I'm here for. I just want to be a space for, you know, a healing space for people. So, yeah. I don't know how to say goodbye. I don't. You want to know how many shows I watch that I haven't watched the ending of because I hate the endings of things? Vampire Diaries. I'm on the last season. Haven't finished it because I hate when things end. I hate falling in love with characters and then I have to watch them die. Harry Potter. Still not over Sirius or Dolby dying. So yeah, there's a lot of shows that I really like. And if you see my watch history and you go and look at the seasons, you'll see she's on the last season. This show came out 10 years ago. Why hasn't she finished it? Because I don't like when things end. I don't like when things end. So do you see how I can't even end the episode? Do you see that? Because I don't like when things end. I can't. I'd rather just stay in the area before the ending forever. You know, because if I didn't watch it to the end, then it didn't end. But I also know that once it ends and I process it and I cry and do whatever I need to do, I can then watch it over again. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't like endings. I will not watch the end of things. I finish books. That's about it. So this is why the endings of these are so awkward, because I don't like saying bye. I don't like saying bye. So, but, bye.